Menzel has to ask himself now, is it time to go to Paris or to do your homework and prepare for the main event on this coming week?
I love that.
Thank you.
And now, one set card from Damien.
Okay,
that could mean plenty
anything.
of things, Bo, and it is followed up by Malice in Underground. And no response to that there. There is not many responses actually in this. And we are going to banish the Dormouse. A card that makes dreams come true, and maybe for Damien, the dream of going to the World Championship will be enabled through this Dormouse here.
Yep, and Dormouse basically closed the door on the first chance of going to Worlds for Tom-Luca already because, okay, Infinite Impermanence. There is a set card. Is it a bluff or are we going to change something here? However, Dormouse was special summoned by its own effect after being banished by Malice in Underground, so this could be impactful.
Damien is considering a set, and it is resolving. All right, so we got that one out of the way. But we also have not even normal summoned yet, so there is technically plenty of ways to still keep this rolling. But let's see, Damien doesn't look necessarily happy
because
right now.
when Malice starts with Malice in Underground,
harder.
probably they don't have a real starter. But a backup Ignis or maybe...
I mean, Mattis deliberately started his last turn with Malice in Underground, even though he had White Rabbit in hand, just because he thought it was a better way to start.
I mean, sometimes it becomes a mind game, right? Like when you're taking the route that is considered to be a little weaker. Oh, it is MTP though, and we didn't even decide to chain it to the Infinite Impermanence. Interesting. Did Tom maybe activate the Infinite Impermanence on the summon of Dormouse, possibly?
I think so. This might have been the absolute right call
Oh,
here.
I was searching for another Dormouse, though.
I think this answers
okay,
our question.
Joel and Lockbird now, though,
Does that do anything?
Tom as well. And that one resolves. We have done it on the normal summon immediately, but that makes room for the second Dormouse. That card is semi-limited to now come to the field, and it does resolve, bringing in the White Rabbit now as well.
White Rabbit, now are we going to see a GWC? Yes, indeed. Going to set the trap card from the deck immediately into the spell and trap zone, guaranteeing follow-up, playing around cards like Nibiru, the Primal Being.
And also draw. And as we discussed in the morning, we saw that GWC has made a lot of success today, and I think it should be in every Malice list.
Yeah, I mean, when you just look at the deck list from the playoff, a couple of players did disagree, but when you now look at the players that have done well and are in top 4, I think all 3 Malice players in top 4 did play GWC in the main deck.
Your word in Slifer's mouth.
Yeah. If they would have all just listened to Mike Patuchas on here, you would have told them before the event. But here comes
Please
Splash
don't
Mage.
go back to the first round.
Yeah. Splash Mage brings back the White Rabbit.
Also with the right target. This one hasn't used its Oh, it has. Doesn't even matter. Bestial would have hit pretty hard here, which we have seen in the last match can matter.
And don't forget that Tom right now has only 3 cards left in his hand.
He does, and now we do go for the White Rabbit. Let's get rid of those 2 cards in Tom's graveyard.
Do we also banish the MTP though? Doesn't look like it.
No, because
it looks like
you want to reset it with Binder.
Yeah, I thought we were going to use GWC and reset that one later on, and then try to banish the MTP so we can shuffle it back later on with Hard Crypta and then set it with the White Rabbit.
Under draw, you cannot extend so much, so it's better to keep both of them right now.
Yep.
And also, against the Ryzel, White Binder's effect to ban is not so relevant as it is to keep
Okay, and that's
GWC.
it. Honestly, I feel like that was sufficient what Tom-Luca did there. Now with 4 cards in hand, and maybe a possible start with one of the most powerful Ryzel cards like X Ryzel or Ice Ryzel. I can see what's happening. I can see what's going somewhere. We have a game, ladies and gentlemen, here in game number 1. And Tom-Luca leads off this game here in his turn with... He is destined... Oh, he's taking it back. Which one is it going to be? He doesn't know himself just yet.
Already tough decisions to make just in the beginning of your turn.
Don't forget that Damien started with Malice in Underground, so probably the other cards in his hand are hand traps.
Yeah, this could very well be true.
Oh, we're revealing number 104 Masquerade for 7th Tachyon. And this probably is going to be X Ryzel, if I would have to guess. The downside of 7th Tachyon, of course, though, is you gotta put 1 card of your hand back to the top of the deck, meaning you are basically reducing the amount of cards in your hand while resolving this card. And we do go for Ice Ryzel. Okay, we want that instead of X Ryzel here. I mean, there's not really a good target to be I mean, actually, Valen might be pretty good to send here, isn't it? Because there's two
Yeah.
set cards for Damien, and you could immediately be forcing those out.
But I mean, yeah, I guess if you're using MTP or just banishing an X, the GWC doesn't really do too much right now. Well, it's an Ice Ryziel here. I can
Okay.
also see that if this is a card that if Damien has low impact hand traps like Valor, like Impermanence, I mean Impermanence not really anymore, but Ash Blossom, I think it would be a good shout here, even though, yeah, I think that would be a pretty strong play here.
Ice Ryziel, and is it going to resolve is the question. Damien really thinking about this, and I think in my head at least, Effect Valor and Infinite Impermanence on this just feel like a sufficient answer to it, but
Yeah.
both of these set cards are not Infinite Impermanence because we know both of them are Malice Trap cards, but instead MTP is the answer here.
And if you see a card like 7th Tachyon in the graveyard,
Oh, and there is Effect Valor as well though, stopping Ice Ryziel.
wants to get rid of everything, the effect and the body here as well, goes to get...
In
Oh, is
order
that a
to play
Chessicat?
around Sword.
Yeah. It's a good choice here.
The only
And,
problem right now is X, obviously.
Oh.
Or maybe a Dodo Warrior.
That could also work wonders, but let's see. Looks like Tom has a clear plan. That looks like a spell card to me. Oh, we're discarding our last card in hand, which was a Sword Ryziel. We can't special summon that, but now we're discarding it for the Ono Pariar, and we are allowed to search. That will give us some more gas to go into this. That is nice, because that will net us Do Warrior. There we have it, the beautiful Starlight Rare. Alongside... What's the other search target we want to get here?
I love this because Tom can now show us what the Onomat cards are made of, because on stream it hasn't performed too crazy well so far. What can you do with these cards? Also, we have discarded the Ryziel Sword, we have used Ice, but if we go into generic rank 4 monsters, Duo Drive can actually get us some X. So if we can play here, this could be huge.
Oh, and look at this. So we searched for the Gambara Knight alongside the Dodo Warrior, and now we're sending the gloves, of course, for the effect of the Warrior. And that is just putting pressure on Damien here. It's kind of demanding a response, but we also know there is still the other monster waiting in the hand, so I feel like there might be a way for Tom to get to a rank 4 here, really.
And I mean, Damien, the GWC doesn't really do anything. There's no Whitebinder in the graveyard. There's no cards where you can really snowball here, right? Usually GWC gets you the Whitebinder and then banishes more cards, and then you have the Heart Crypta, banish the White Rabbit, set MTP, but MTP has already been used. MTP plus Effect Valor on this Ice Ryziel. This card just demanded to Cowboy, one of my favorite cards, being shown here.
Yeah,
With the
revealed,
Gambara.
and we go into rank 4, and Damien has to let this happen. Tom actually playing into the field, may be able to overcome this Malice field, as he has done plenty of times already. Now we go for Infernal Banshee. That is a card that is not quite Duo Drive, but still can fetch us a plenitude of different Pyro monsters from our deck.
And to be honest, I think at this game stage, Tom can actually access Protoss and just call Dark. And
If it would only be in his main deck, though, he's not maining the Protoss, sadly.
And also, he doesn't play Nemesis Flag, right?
He doesn't.
So this Flame Bench doesn't get you to Protoss at all.
Oh, but there is Nibiru from Damien. That is massive. Tributing all of that. Packing up our cards. Damien Vala. And the crowd loves. His friends are cheering him on. Takes game number 1 with the Malice strategy. Good effort there by Tom, but it wasn't enough. The Nibiru then was the writing on the wall. He couldn't do anything about that anymore.
And I want to ask you right now, who has more pressure on his shoulder? Tom, on the one hand, that he knows that he has to go 2 games in a row and win for the ticket to Paris, or Damien, who still needs 1 more win, but he has all the pressure right now on his shoulders.
I'm saying it's 50-50 right now, because yes, Tom has to win more games, but this is versus Malice post side. If you find Artifact Lancea, there is a good shot that you're winning that game, and Damien basically has to pray to Slifer, to Obelisk, to Ra, to the Divine Beasts as well.
To Slifer?
Just, yeah. Dude, He
Why not?
can now win this. If there is no Lancea involved, sometimes even with Lancea, you are winning those games.
Yeah, and I mean now going first for Tom, of course, he even has the option
Higher
for 7th
chance, yeah.
Tachyon to get to the Lancea as well. So very, very, very high likelihood of seeing that card now in the second game, which will be good for him.
Basically
I mean,
not seen it at all.
Yeah, but basic math, honestly, like Tom has to win 2 games and Damien only has to win 1 game. So I feel like when you're talking about the pressure, I think Damien right now is relieved that he already has the 1 in the bag. And he can now at least, of course, it would be nice to take a 2-0, but he has that backup plan of just winning game 3 in the end then, you know.
Nice backup plan.
Sometimes you have more pressure, though, when you feel that you are so close, rather than I know that I have to go 2 wins straight, and that might get Tom into the zone and try hard more and know exactly what to do without misplaying.
Yeah, and I mean, I saw Tom before the match. He looked in the zone. He had like the full other top 4 match to really calm down after his loss against Yuna, who qualified for Worlds earlier against him. And he looked ready again. He looked ready again to go. Now game 1 didn't go his way, but I think he's still in the zone. He's still in the tunnel. I think he might still be absolutely able to take this.
He can definitely still crush this, our duelist. We are still shuffling after this. Of course, you want to make sure that you give it a good shuffle after this one, because you don't want to break in this game. Damien, 1 game up. We have seen this so many times today. How strong is Malice really if you're throwing those hand traps? And we've seen from Damien and Mattis the build. If they're getting stopped with other hand traps, they still put out a very good half field.
Whatever.
And then all of a sudden, they also have Nibiru, they have Effect Veiler, they have Impermanence, they have Impulse.
I feel like that tendency that really started at the French National Championship to play that Malice deck with those hand directions, with those big lineups of Effect Veilers, Infinite Impermanence, and so on and so forth. This seems like the best solution to the format right now, as we can clearly tell, with 2 of them already being in the ticket, having the ticket to the World Championship, and now also Damien being up in this one here as well. It probably just is the way to play Malice right now in the best possible way, really.
Maybe it is the way to play Yu-Gi-Oh right now.
And I mean, it's the mini game that Malice plays that if it doesn't extend a lot, it means that it has a lot of hand ups. So it's a mini game that a Malice player takes.
And also the most insane cards are the Bestials. If you're actually playing versus Fiendsmith, those cards are not only crazy hand traps, they are also extenders. I mean, mainly they are played as extenders right now, as we have seen before. So far, you get more bodies, you can banish your cards if you get hand trapped. So those cards are also completely insane. Malice is on top of the game right now. 1 game away for Damien to go to the World Championships in Paris. Game 2 is about to start. Let's go to the table.
Tom-Luca with the back against the wall, but going first, and therefore ready to show his combo now this time around. And let's see. Okay, Leo already preparing the options that there could be. Called by the grave, of course. Why not? Why not? But let's see which is the starting point. 7th Tachyon once more. The thing, though, is if we start with 7th Tachyon, Tom-Luca build the deck, which has a tool around Droll and Lockbird with those Do-Do-Do cards. But when you have to start with this card, it's massively playing into those cards. Cool thing, though, is now you may as well just search Ice Riser, right? Because we saw him search Ice Riser earlier. I think searching X Riser is probably not sufficient anymore, because Ice Riser just plays around, and we see he is going for that, plays around Droll and Lockbird a little bit better.
We've seen, I think, that there is an Ash Blossom in the hand of Damien, and he seems to not be afraid of Artifact Lancea.
Looks like it, but there is the Droll and Lockbird! And is there something to counter it? Triple Tactic Talents, we're looking into the hand. What do we have there? Show us, Damien, show us. Ooh, that's not much, Engine. Wow. That's backup Ignister, a March here, a Droll and Lockbird, and an Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. That's not many plays. I feel like Tom may as well just take away the backup? I feel like the backup, right? The Ash Blossom.
I mean, he wants to have the detonator on the field, right? If he doesn't have too many extenders in hand, just go normal summon Ice Riser, put up a rather big detonator. Still 2 materials is not the greatest, but it is working. And then if your opponent only has, I guess, Marcher and the backup at Ignister,
it can be a lot, honestly, because backup at Ignister just searches you for just Dormouse or something, and then it can go quickly, but Tom honest, has a plan.
I had a sneak into Tom's hand, and I can understand why he chose to...
Does he have a Lancea?
Not Lancea, something else. To leave the backup on Damien hand.
All right, let's see, Tom-Luca, which monster are we going to summon out? He played around that card so beautiful around the drone Lockbird by searching out the Ice Ryziel, and now we go for Star Ryziel, fetching ourselves across for free. I mean, that alone is also dealing very nicely with the backup at Ignister, of course.
So that's also a nice way to play around Drone Lock, but if you're playing this Ryziel Star, which is not always the best card to draw, I've realized that in the past few days, it's so good if you're getting draws. Triple Tactic Talents, of course, looking into the hand is always strong. Then you're seeing again, Drone and Lockbird, great hand trap right now, especially against this deck, but it's just, if you have multiple, it doesn't do anything.
Okay. I think I may have understood what you have spotted, Mike, because that card, that Castle there on the field, is a clear indicator of what to see next, because that has to be Harpiest Featherstorm there. That is the set card for Tom-Luca. And I mean, we know, Damien knows, everybody knows there at this point, basically, because you don't just end on that Castle without having the trap card next to it.
Do you have any clue what the card might be?
Yeah, I think it might be Harpy's Featherstorm. But I think Castle is a chill dude.
I mean, yeah, sure.
You can handle Castle.
Just, Tom likes to hang out with Castle. I don't mind it. True. But now, of course, Damien tries to figure out the way to bait out the Harpiest Featherstorm with... Ooh, this is nice, because that signalizes we drew into another Malice card, but now it also makes Tom sort of chain the Harpiest Featherstorm. Oh no, he allows it. Interesting. We summon Marchair. We banish Malice in the mirror. Ooh, that's a tough banish, honestly.
Yeah, but now we let them commit the Marcher onto the field so that we can run over it in the next turn. Could have also, of course, changed that to any Malice effect that activates in banishment. So real nice.
We're passing. Tom, what's the follow-up looking like? Do we have another one of those Ice Ryziels, or maybe even an X Ryziel? Ooh, we use the effect of Castel.
I like that.
Trying to spin back,
Burrows
maybe?
can be activated now.
Oh yeah, we get another draw.
One card.
True. Very much so. It has been a while since I saw that effect from Castle resolving, I ain't gonna lie.
Deserves a clap.
But it is, of course, still very valid. Oh, and there's no Ryziel.
Oh, that is
we
much
already
better.
have no Ryziel. Nice.
And also Tom has full knowledge of Damien hand.
And
There
this
is another draw on Lockbird, right? Yeah, there is.
Yes.
This time
and one backup.
You don't use the draw. I think you're going to go for a 3-material detonator here next to Ryziel Cross, knowing that there is only Drawn Lockbird and backup at Ignister in hand.
Maybe you can do even more. Look, we go dual drive.
True.
Why not? You get that for free, essentially. Get another material onto it. Using the effect, we all know there's no response.
You can even negate the Drawn Lockbird with this.
Yeah.
I think you just go for a game here.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I think there's plenty of things that we can still see here from Tom, and he is in the zone. As we said, he looked like he's still ready to rumble, and he absolutely is, and showcasing it here on the big stage. Ice Ryziel. I mean, yeah, we haven't normal summoned yet. That looks very doable. And Damien recognizes that fact, and therefore score is even, and Tom-Luca claims victory here in this second game.
Very, very smartly played. They're having the Harpy's Featherstorm as well, of course. Hard draw, not even set with a thrust. Strong card if you can end on Castel. Also, I really like the detaching, special summoning out the no Ryziel, which is not always the best card to draw as well, but did the job, huh?
Oh, worked here like a charm for sure. And yeah, speaking of the charm, he will need some Molt Charmy Fuvalos or some Molt Charmy Meowls, or best case scenario, even an Artifact Lancea for this third game. Those are the cards that will probably decide his destiny here, whether he will be able to qualify to the World Championship or not.
Or if Damien is actually going to go play at the World Championship in Paris, representing his home country, in his home country. That is the absolute dream of a Yu-Gi-Oh player.
It is a dream,
to be honest, right now, the pressure is going back and forth all the time.
Yeah.
Meaning that Game 3, in such a huge and very important event, I cannot imagine how those guys feel right now.
I think the pressure is off you a little bit more if you're going second there.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, hey, my hand will decide if I have a say in this. And then we can see what happens, right?
You can basically only win there, right? Because Damien is the one that is on the play, basically, and that he needs to deliver here, and he knows he will be the one deciding his own destiny, essentially, if he can play a good combo. And Tom is like, I'll have a look. I'll see what I can get. I agree with you for sure.
So nerves-wise, yes, but he can also lose. Because if he loses, he doesn't go to the World Championship. So maybe the theory of he can only win there is not entirely true here.
Yeah.
But I see what you mean, definitely. This is a tough, tough matchup for everyone here.
I mean, both Tom and Damien are one game away from a World Championship.
And we're going to see if this is going
It
to
might
be
be
another huge combo.
their biggest game until today.
It surely is.
Yeah.
I mean, both of them have not been to the World Championship before. It would be their first time at that most prestigious event in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Sphere, basically.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's the dream of every Yu-Gi-Oh! Player, isn't it? Going to the World Championship. Like, when you're touching
You're a
Yu-Gi-Oh!
legend.
cards at some point, you want to go to the World Championship. That's the ultimate goal that we all are kind of working for. It's just like, it's a dream really, because only so few people every year get to go. It's like a very, very prestigious event with only a little over 20 players in total. So it's just a really, really small amount of people even on the planet that have ever been to it. So this match decides on whether one of them, or it is going to be one of them, but who of them is going to make it in the end.
You become in an instant a legend that gets into a small group of people that have attended World Championship.
History
it
of the
speaks
game.
so much about the event that we're only talking about attending it. We haven't even mentioned winning the World Championship, given that it hasn't been too many Europeans who won the World Championship in the TCG. But that's beside the point here.
I mean,
We
Europe
have
is back on, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe, I mean, this year, World Championship in Paris, Europe. I think the European players, and we already have Yuna and also Matis in there, two great players. I can see it. Maybe we're taking the crown this year to Europe. I wouldn't be mad about that.
I wouldn't hate that. No. Does sound good indeed. Players are still shuffling here.
Yeah, you want to shuffle this one
It's the most
really
important
well.
shuffle of your life at this point. You want to find those side deck cards. Those side deck cards make or break the game at the moment. You have these cards that you need. You need the help of Artifact Lancea or Chaos Hunter to beat the Malice strategy, because it is so incredibly dominant when going first. We have seen how well the deck plays through 3 to 4 hand trips.
But that is also now the case. We're coming back to the Malice deck now, using a lot of hand interactions. I think a side point of that Fury is also, if you get stopped by Lancea, you still have so many ways to play from your hand. I think that's just also, in general, the deck building approach, but I think in that Fury, that was part of the Fury to include those cards again, because your opponent is sort of turn skipping you, so you are able then to kind of do it back with those hand interactions, and then when it gets back to you and you still have those powerful cards in your hand, it's still Malice again, you know, so that's pretty strong overall, and I think that is what he wants to do.
The most
here.
famous strategy right now for Malice is to side Mistaken Arrest in order to,
very true
if
as well.
it gets Lancea, to just set a mini field and pass with Mistaken Arrest.
Yeah.
Which is another win against the Razil.
Only one more game to be played today, one more player to be sent to World Championship. Who is it going to be? We are finding it out now as players are ready. Back into the action we go. Game 3.
Duelists are ready. Let's see. Let's give us a handshake of good sportsmanship. Damien is going to go first. He's exactly in the position he wants to be here. But does he have the right cards? Damien is now once again contemplating over the combo lines that he can go for here. And it looks like we're going to start with a normal summon of Chassis Cat.
Chassis Cat, any response? Tom-Luca, is there another infinite
The moment of
impermanence?
truth.
He used to do that a lot, maybe even an Artifact Lancea, Tom.
I
Will
think
be
that
already
one-
in the graveyard.
Yeah.
Yes! It is the Ash Blossom and Joy Spring saying no to Chassis. Oh, and Damien, it looked like he was... Oh, he doesn't care. He doesn't care at all. Activates the Malice in Underground just after.
I don't think that Lancea exists in this tournament. We have seen so many full Malice combos.
Hold on though, more Charmy Meows being chained to the Dormouse effect. That could be a lot of draws possibly. Damien could of course though have an answer to this.
That is the best Charmy, especially because it can also
No response.
Oh, it can draw into a Lancea. Lancea is always good against the deck.
Yes, huge for Tom after the Ash Blossom not putting in the work that he wanted to see. Now that Meow's giving him another draw, and more importantly, giving Damien kind of a problem to solve here in how he proceeds to play his turn even. Because I mean,
Lines versus Fualos and Lines versus Purulia, they are kind of easy to do here, but this deck really wants to summon a lot from the banishment.
And it's very important what you said, Leo, that when you get Malcharmy, you never know if your opponent has a Lancia, because you pass the first checks, for example, with the field spell, but now Tom might draw it through the effect of Meowls.
now infinite impermanence on the Dormouse as well. Damien doesn't really get to do what he wants to do because Tom has found a plentitude of answers here. And you can really tell Damien has been looking really confident throughout the entirety of the playoff whenever we had him on the feature match. But now he's really taking his moment to think about this.
I mean, he has a line to play, but that basically forces another draw out here. You can go into the Splash Mage here and special summon something back from the graveyard, and Meowls also provides a draw with that. Let's see what's going to happen next. Tom-Luca has thrown loads of hand traps already, even preventing himself a draw. He negated the Dormouse with the infinite impermanence. Now gets another draw from that Chassis Cat. Maybe Damien is just going to go into a red ransom, search for something and then pass. Or the white binder. We've seen that previously.
Oh my, this is really where the pressure is at. Game number 3 in the third place playoff. And Tom-Luca is having his say in this here, even going second.
I think that Damien is just going to do a half field, which is either red ransom here or a white binder search for the MTP.
No, it's probably red ransom in order to take mirror, and then he can set the MTP with White Rabbit.
True, but where does he get the white rabbit from?
From the effect of ransom when he gets banished.
That's a very good point.
Let's see though, Damien is still not sure himself. Like all options are up there, and that looked like the white binder to me, to be honest.
I mean, he could commit, but if he's playing so many hand traps, just ending on a red ransom with a few hand traps.
It is the red ransom though, it is, and Tom has another answer, and it is another infinite impermanence. And Damien just doesn't get anything going here, but also you gotta realize Tom-Luca not having many cards left in hand, but there is the Wizard at Ignister, which in this case though is going to give Tom another card though.
Yep, but it's only one card. If you're extending from this, what can you even do here? How much can you play on without giving more and more draws? Are you just passing on a Bomber Dragon here? But then again, do you even have follow-up to trigger it in the next turn? No, we're going Wicked.
That is indeed very wicked.
And the perma on red ransom was very important because it stopped two interruptions, not only one.
Yep, now the Cyber's Wicked activates, banishes the red ransom. Are we going to get that one back? We have to, right?
Yep, this might be another draw.
We do! Pay 900! And in that case, give Tom-Luca a draw for it.
And it might actually banish out the White Rabbit as well. That's what it looks like. Might go for March Hare, even though, because that would give less draws. But at this point, I think Damien knows that Tom-Luca has already used 3 other hand traps, I think. So I think it's very reasonable to just say, hey, you know what? At this point, I don't need to banish too much anymore. I can just go full combo. You draw up to your 4 cards and then try to play.
You know what would be a crazy card to draw into, though? Nibiru, the Primal Being. That would be the one card that Tom really desires right now. It was the Marcher in the end. It goes back into the hand through its own effect. Anything else that Damien wants to go into? I mean, at the very least, it is going to be the Topologic Bomber Dragon here. That's a link. That's a link 4, maybe. Could also be IP Masquerade. Huh? Oh, okay, yeah. True. Very true. That is the white binder now.
Do that though, because there's no malice card.
Yeah. All right, that is a very good point. We're going to inform the judges.
There was no malice card involved, indeed.
But I guess still Wicked on the field is very strong against a Rizel deck. The other options right now for Damien is obviously to summon Bomber, as we said, or even summon a Code Talker. But
oh yeah, there we go. We figured it out. Yeah, that white binder cannot be summoned because there was no Malice monster used for it. We have figured it out. Perfect.
Yeah,
we're still in the process of figuring out, but I think this looks good again. Yeah, that was the game state previously, and we just used the red ransom.
Is on the graveyard and not on the banishment.
I mean, now we're banishing with the white binder that we're summoning now. I think that is fine. And now we're going to be able to set either MTP or GWC. Think a good old GWC plus... Okay, we are going for MTP here. I mean, Damien also still has 3 cards left in hand. Okay, Marcher, and backup at Ignister, so I think the other last card might have been Effect Veiler. Not too sure about that though. Goes for the backup at Ignister here.
Oh, you can feel.
Oh, and that is a
pressure in the
Perulia
banger.
as well. Do you chain March here to this?
I mean,
No.
apparently not.
Because
That's another card to draw.
Damien wants much hurry for his turn in order to banish Red Ransom and then banish White Rabbit to
Searches
gain
for
one more
another
trap.
Marcher now. And I mean, at this point, it feels like Tom has seen half of his deck here, really, right? We're drawing through cards, we're activating some alongside the process. 5 cards in hand for him here. That's huge.
Oh, we're going to go for another Link Summon.
A Code Talker probably.
Yeah, Allied
Cryptor.
Allied Code Talker would give another draw for
Yeah.
the Meowls. So we're going for the hard
I
Cryptor
totally
here.
forgot about Cryptor.
That doesn't look like a big field you couldn't play into, Tom. With so many cards in hand as well. Use so many hand traps. But look at this. Using so many hand traps and still having Damien and on 2 banishes on the field immediately. And it also banishes from the graveyard. Even further setup. Has MTP set.
This is certainly going in a way that Tom-Luca envisioned, though. This is something that he can handle. The Ryziel deck has plenty of tools to play monsters even into a field, and now with 6 cards in hand, almost as if he never used any cards, even though he used plenty of them, has the chance to make it happen here.
I mean, if you use no hand traps against Malice, that's the field that I can create. that's the Crypto Pass technology.
All right, Tom, what's the first card we're going for? Carefully considering his options. Are we leading with an X Ryziel or is it going to be an Ice Ryziel? We have to figure it out.
The thing is, you can't really have too many more hand traps in hand, right? At this point, you've basically seen all of them. Also, having something like a Meowls in hand for this turn wouldn't be too bad, right?
Indeed, because whatever card it's getting banished with Marshare, obviously Tom will draw a card from a potential Meowls.
Yep.
All right. Okay, so I think there is a judge call at the moment, so let's quickly bring it back over to us because they are going to resolve it. I think the head judge is quickly coming over. There was a warning. They're just seeing whether it wasn't the same category or something. Of course, judge procedural things that we just want to make sure that are perfectly organized and well. And I think it is going to be sorted out in a quick moment. But the pressure doesn't get any lower from this, right? Now you have to wait a little.
Okay.
You have to talk to the judges and everything.
Basti,
Please.
a few weeks back,
Yes.
you've messaged me telling me, hey, I know the next best deck.
Okay.
It's Ryziel Onomat. You want to play that one. So you're the expert on this deck now. What are you looking for in cards when it comes to Tom's hand? What do you want to play and how?
Level 4 monsters.
Oh, that's so sick.
Right? You just want to have level 4 monsters to go into rank 4 monsters, and then you can kind of go from there.
That sounds really, really good.
Sounds like a plan.
I mean, honestly, another thing, though, that might be really good is just Protoss and Eschatos, because, yes, going first, those technologies to just prevent your opponent from playing were very popular with the Protoss in the past, but I feel like those cards have more so turned into a go second breaking tool now at the moment. Both of them being really good against Malice, so maybe that is going to be
And
what
also,
happens.
I don't think that he cited out the 7th Tachyon. So if you get to play in this game and you get to break the field back, usually what Malice does best is just, survive a turn and then just have all of the resources. If you get to add Lancea with 7th Tachyon after breaking the field, this might be your shot to go to Worlds.
Absolutely, that is definitely the case. They are still in the process of figuring everything out. I think we will be fine, but we're, of course, making exactly sure, because this is the most important match. So, of course, everything has to go exactly to procedure. But yeah, Leo, I mean, in terms of high-value cards, of course, there is the Dodo Warrior. We saw how easily it is going to get us 2 monsters without even playing into Droll and Lockbird, so that is a no-brainer for me that you want.
Normal summoning.
And next, obviously, that can force either Cryptor or the MT7.
Yes, indeed, that too. And Ice Ryziel, of course, as we've seen, it's a card that he values a lot as well, that he even searches mainly with that 7th Tachyon. So those are really the cards you want to have. And then, really, the Arc Nemesis, I think they are the key maybe to solve this problem here in the end, because just, as you said it with the Lancea, searching it after you saw that broke the field.
Calling Dark with Protoss also sounds decent in this situation.
Even in that situation as well.
Those cards are, for this field, very easy to out. You just banish them on summon.
But if you start to play with all your Ryziels, with all of your Onomart cards, and then in the end, just the last resort being then the Protoss or the Eschatos, I can see it.
It's a good resort.
Yeah.
To be honest, I like Protoss a lot going second, since you can bait the basic interruptions. Just
Yeah, you
obviously.
like Protoss every time, right?
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but he is one of my favorite cards.
Of course it is. But all right, I think
I think you're the Arc Nemesis.
He's very healthy.
everything looks like it is all figured out again, as far as I can tell. So I would say, let's go back over to the table and let's see how this match is proceeding. There we have them. And we can continue. Yep, everything is good to go. And Tom, what is the card that you want to activate there for so long now already? Oh, and it is the Do Warrior. Can it do the trick for Tom, though? Can it be the card that takes him to the World Championship? That new card from Duelist Advance.
Damien just now, he's reading the Dwarf. Damien has to be incredibly careful on how to use his rather few interruptions there. He has access to Whitebinder and Graveyard with the March Hare. Also, good news for Tom is probably that he does... Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I can see that. March Hare is going to banish Whitebinder, and Whitebinder takes care of the Dwarf.
Yeah, that's one of the very rare moments against the Ryziel strategy where you actually get some value out of the Whitebinder, banishing something that's actually meaningful right now to Tom in the graveyard, because usually there is not that much in that scenario. And I think we might even try to banish more cards from Tom-Luca's graveyard, really, because just trying to eliminate different attributes from his graveyard might be noteworthy, as we know that he's on Eschatos and Protoss, really.
But does Damien know?
That's a good question, yeah, for sure. I think that card, those cards are really popular in the Onomat
You can
Rise
expect
of the Right.
Protoss, probably.
Ooh, Ash Blossom,
That
though!
is so good.
Making sure that Whitebinder stays where it's at, and that is the banishment.
If you're curious why that worked, it is because the Whitebinder is also attempting to draw a card when being summoned, or offers the card draw, and that's why you can Ash Blossom this card. It stays where it's at, and now there is just a March Hare on the field, looking sad.
Looking very sad indeed, Damien, thinking about whether something else is there that he wants to activate.
I think you're waiting for Tom to commit into the first.
And there it
This
is.
is someone. And I also like the fact that Tom on the previous round started with Ryziel and then went to Onomatopia cards. And now we can see that he starts with Onomatopia cards and probably has Ryziel in his hand. So he adapts his playstyle according to the field that he's facing.
Trying to confuse your opponent. Of course, the Do Warrior is a level 4 monster by now. That's the effect when it summons itself. Might ask yourself otherwise, why are you playing a level 6 card in your rank 4 toolbox deck? But no. Oh. Ooh,
yeah. I think we used the effect of... No, I think we used the effect of the Go Glove, actually. That's what we were pointing at. And we special summoned one of our monsters from the hand.
Ooh, nice.
Which is the code in that case. And that brings us more and more level 4 monsters onto the field here. We keep on going.
The question
you said it, that the plan going second is to just summon as many as more level 4 monsters as you can.
Yeah. And we are doing well with that so far.
I think by now Damien is just very good to wait a little bit here, right? You just wait until your opponent commits into Exceed summoning, because I don't think there are too many Exceed monsters that actually act on summon.
I mean, Exciton Knight is a scary one though, isn't it?
But you have way more cards than your opponent.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's true. I mean, is it way more? Let's do a quick math here. It's 4 on the field for Damien, and he has 2 more cards in hand. It's actually close, actually. Well, I think Exciton Knight would be viable here.
Might be.
But then we probably would have not summoned out the additional monster, because that is kind of contradicting to the plan of going after the entire field. But Tom-Luca has decided on going for a rank 4 monster. Which one is it going to be, though?
Also, Tom-Luca, he wants to deal damage this turn, choosing Violence immediately. That's
Ooh, that's a good one as well. That is the Light Dragon at Ignister. And I like this because this card was very popular in pure Ryziel decks. And then it was off the radar for quite a while. But now, with Onomat Ryziel, there's more slots in the extra deck again. It feels like a bit of a pure Ryziel version as well with the Onomat cards as well. It plays like one at least. And therefore, this card is back into the extra deck and now even back here as a summon for Tom-Luca.
Most players play Ignister cards, which is...
Yeah, true.
You just substituted basically the cards that are on the Forbidden and Limited list with Onomat cards.
Yeah. That is
situation.
true, and Damien thinking about whether that is something he needs to worry about right now, because of course, this card, or like monsters you control that would be destroyed by card effect, can be protected now. But I mean, destroying by card effect is not necessarily what the Malice deck is trying to do, and now we activate MTP, and we're trying to banish that Light Dragon immediately, I would imagine.
Yeah, that is
Searches chassis.
not the vibe of the Malice deck to destroy something. No, we only banish, which makes things quite awkward in the mirror match sometimes. Light Dragon at Ignister, it's not a valuable combo piece. It is trying to break the field, and it got one interruption out. Chessy Cat being revealed again.
Yeah, I mean, you were forced to do this there kind of as well, because the Light Dragon Ignister, next to its protection effect, of course, has the effect to just destroy a card on the opponent's side of the field.
So Baba Bancho Gagaga Code can summon out the Dwarf.
Of course. There we go. That's why it is on the field. And now we can have 2 level 4 monsters. Leo, you asked me what he's trying to do. Just trying to summon a couple of level 4 monsters. And Tom-Luca is doing pretty well with that so far. Got the MTP interruption out of the way already. And also note, he hasn't even searched once yet, so he hasn't even played into Droll and Lockbird. That's such a relief for the Rising strategy, that it's just not always playing into Droll and Lockbird, but having ways even when that card would resolve, but so far no Droll just yet.
Neither has
with
normal
no-
summoned also. It's very important.
That's true. Oh, that's Dugaris coming down
Okay.
here. I did not expect that card, but really Tom-Luca going through everything but Rizier cards at the moment here. And we go for number 60. And that number 60 was on the field, but not anymore, as we immediately banish it with the Hard Cryptor. But now, is there maybe a good normal summon? Oh my, Leo, I told you we wanted to draw the Arch Nemesis cards. Which one is it? We have a fire, we have a water, and we have an earth. So which one is it? Mike, is it your most favorite card, Protoss, or is it Eschatos? Here
I know
it
it's my
comes.
boy.
It is indeed. No, it is Eschatos. There it is. And Eschatos is very similar to what Protoss does, but it's not for attributes, but for types. But guess what? Against Malice, you just call Cybers, and they have a miserable day still.
But I think that Damien still has one last ace in terms of interruptions up his sleeve, and that is an Effect Veiler that might be sitting in his hand. If Tom-Luca Menzel now calls Cybers and there is going to be an Effect Veiler, he still has to go through so many resources that Damien has. But now we're checking the Eschatos first.
Who needs Nemesis Flag when you can just draw into Eschatos or Protoss naturally? And I mean, he drew 10 cards or 11 cards due to the Molchavis there. But at some point, you are going to find those. And this is a precious moment to now summon it. But there is the Effect Veiler to answer it. So Damien will be able to continue summoning his Cybers monsters.